Hola. Let's see. Waiting for Jamisa. Bio. Hey, boo.
Hey,
Hey! How
how
you
you doing?
doing?
I'm good.
That's what's up. It's so good to meet you.
We're nice to meet you too. Where are you from?
I'm from Greensboro.
Oh, in North Carolina, right?
Yeah, North
Okay.
Carolina. Yeah.
Right, right. Okay.
So we've never met before, but we're gonna have some fun. I'm gonna ask you a few questions.
Okay.
I was on your Instagram today, and I did me a little bit of research, and I was like, what can I
Yeah.
learn from Miss Jamisa today? And I go by the name of Carmen Bliss, and my show
Okay.
is called Bliss Talk, and then I also incorporate this acronym. It's called Black Bags,
Mhm.
and I like to talk to people and engage with people about building, learning, aspiring, collaborating, and sharing keys with one another. So I'm picking your brain. Is your brain ready for picking?
Hey, I'm a Gemini. You can pick away.
Okay, okay. That's what I like to hear. All right, so let's get this thing started. So you have um, this, is it a radio station? It's called Plum Radio.
Plums Radio. Yep. It's
Plum.
basically it's underneath Church for the Wild podcast. Yeah.
Okay,
Mm.
awesome. So when I saw that name Plum, I was like, that's like catchy. I like how she named that, and I wanted to know more about that name. What made that name stick?
So so I used to throw parties at my crib, me and my me and my friends, they'll come through, and everyone know that plums is one of my favorite fruits.
I
So
like plums too.
I feel like whenever people would come through, like the people that really care about your health, they'll bring
Mhm.
through some plums. So
Yeah,
it's like I always just stuck with it like that. You know what I
I
mean?
love that.
And
My
my boy
dad.
was like, I was like, yo, I want to make a radio show. I was like, what should I name it? And he was just like, Plums. I was like, all right, Plums it is. I don't got no other name for it. Or I came to him with the name. I don't really quite remember, but yeah.
I like that name. When I was a little girl, my dad would always bring home plums too, and that was my favorite fruit too. Like
Hmm.
I love the plum. Like this is a wild question, but what's the nutrients like? What's
For the
what's
so
it good for?
it has it fights breast cancer cells.
Mm,
Um,
okay.
it was originated from China. Like
Mm.
China was the first place to have plums in it, or to had the first trees. Um, I think it has a good deal of antioxidants. I don't know yet. I gotta check because I used to always read about it, but it kind of like slipped my mind.
Yeah, I love. You kind of froze a little bit, waiting for us to stabilize it.
Yeah, breast
Are you
cancer
with me?
cells for sure.
Yeah, you were frozen for a little bit, but I think we're good now. But
Okay.
I love it. That's correct that you said antioxidants because I like to look for stuff with antioxidants, and it's supposed to be real
Yeah.
good for your skin if you continuously use products with antioxidants in
Hmm.
it. So how long have you been doing this Plum Radio?
So I started it in 2018, and I was just doing like I'll do like one every 2 months, every 3 months, cause I'm like a really an introvert, so I really don't be wanting to talk that much all the time. So I
Mm.
just was like, but for things to stick, you gotta stay consistent with it and just keep doing it. So like this year and like a little bit of last year, I really just started doing more and more shows and not just want to like just do baby steps. I want to kind of like catapult into the universe. So in order to do that, I gotta just constantly do them and just keep it moving.
Do you know how many episodes you have so far?
I have about I have 15 out so far, and I recorded one yesterday.
Also, and you already got your T-shirts and everything. You go,
Yeah,
girl.
Yeah, I did that 2018, and people only did like a pre-order type situation, and I think I sold about like 20 something, and then after that I just didn't even do no more until now, and I was just like, all right, so they kind of went really fast when I brought them back, so it's definitely people like support it and want to like wear it, you know.
Right. I saw your promo video for that, and I was like, "That's fly." I liked how she talked over it. It
Yeah.
painted a picture. It got you in an emotional state
Mm.
where you wanted to support that. That's dope.
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to make it personal.
Exactly. Exactly. Um, the next question that I have for you is: I see that on your Instagram you have like over 2,000 followers,
Hmm.
and I wanted to know, how did you build your following, and do you think this has anything to do with the networks that you're in or that you're a part
Um. So, I mean, I just think over time people just follow you, and then they'll see like what you're doing, and then if you stay consistent with posting stuff and just being personable, people follow. And I think also from my Twitter, I got like 4,000 followers on Twitter, and I don't know. I think a lot of people that I talk to with music follow me from there.
of?
Um, a lot of my friends, like I know a lot of people that I follow, but it's all types of people that follow me. I really don't know, honestly. I
Right.
kind of just like build it up through just staying consistent, for real. Just putting out my art, for real.
That's what's up, because it's really hard, especially when you're just starting to build a network, build a following. And so I wanted to pick your brain about that. How did you manage to get as many supporters as you do? What I noticed was, for example, at my job, I entered into different like ERG groups and things of that nature. Some people, they might be a part of a church, or they might be a part of something in their school or college. You know what I mean? And so those are actually networks. You know,
Hmm.
people from just already naturally being in that environment. So
Hmm.
do you find yourself maybe getting some of your following from what you're naturally in just by being?
Yeah, yeah, I would think so. I think a couple people follow me from the podcast, because the podcast been going on since 2015. So
Hmm.
people kind of like just stated it, but I think mostly from like photography and me being a director, kind of like mostly of my followers, for real, for real. Now that I think about it, I
That's
ain't even ever
right.
even think about it for real, for real.
That's right. Because I saw in your bio that you were a film director.
Hmm.
So when did you start doing that?
Um, I started doing that. I would say at the I always was had a camera and stuff like that. I always was taking photos and stuff. But
Hmm.
like I did my very first music video at the end of 2011, and I took it serious from 2012 all the way into like as far as like music videos. I'm gonna just talk about camera period. Like 2012, I would say 2012 until now.
Okay, that's
Hmm.
what's up. So it's just basically music videos that you dabbled in, or have you
Um,
done like
Music.
films where it's like acting and?
I ain't dipping to the acting yet. That's my next goal, because I'm kind of like tired of music videos,
Mhm.
and I'm only gonna shoot for certain people. But I did commercials. I did like a chef tables. I did chef tables before Netflix even did it.
Mm.
Um, it was I did a bunch of stuff. I did like I would say 7 to 8 soccer documentaries, because I was traveling from like 2018 to now, like just shooting soccer documentaries with non-league America. And yeah, I'm just letting it take me wherever it needs to take me, you know. I don't got
Have
no
those product have those projects launched? Like, where can we find them now? The ones
um
that you.
the soccer stuff you could find on non-league America YouTube page,
Hmm.
but I only have one on my YouTube, but I don't really post too much. I just let all the traffic goes to him. You know what I mean? Because he just hired me to do the video work. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily my projects, but I edit and create the story for it. So
Okay, that's what's up. So you like editing? That's cool.
yeah, yeah.
I
That's
mean,
the
that's
that's kind of like the fun part for me. It gets tedious, but I kind of love when I'm towards the ending of the project and I
That,
start editing like the colors. That's like my favorite part of editing.
yeah, I cannot stand editing. I mean, I know how to do it, but it is like you said, it's tedious, man. Like you can, because you have a vision for how you want it to come out, and then when the computer don't work with you,
Yeah, I run into mad problems like that.
exactly, it'll lag, it'll do whatever it wants when you just really want it to come together how you saw it in your head. But that's super dope. Because that's a skill. A lot of people, especially if there's artists that joined us in here, they're going to need your help. We all, like as artists, we need film directors. We need people that know what they're doing with that editing because films. I was just talking to Maine, someone else I had in my Bliss talk. They can make like if you're doing music, for example, they can make that. You know.
Mm-hmm. You need that honestly, because it's like, for one, like when it comes to music, they're kind of like just listening to your voice and they see the vibe that you're giving off and they feel the vibrations that you're giving off. But it's like when you add music videos to it, you're painting the picture, but you're also they're actually seeing how you are in real life. So I feel like they're very important for music people. They go hand in hand, you know, if you could create the atmosphere for your song, basically.
Right. Exactly. I agree. I definitely agree. Let's see. What's my next question for you? So you're doing this radio station, Plum Radio, and did you study for this, or this is just something that you just started?
So I love music. Like I love music. Music is everything to me. And when I started the podcast, I was with my guys Nerd and Ron. I started it with, and then like we also have our friends on there too, and my brother's on there right now too. And people always be like, "Yo, I love your voice. It's very soothing. It's very this. It's very that." And when people like see me now after doing Plums Radio, they like, "Damn, like I didn't." They kind of like noticing my voice more. So I just feel like I'm just gonna use it to my advantage, and I got good things to say. So it's like kind of goes hand in hand, and I feel like people probably need my perspective on things.
I can see that.
Because
When I was on your page and I saw like little clips of you um, doing your podcast and radio, I like noticed your voice right away.
Yeah.
How like,
I really want
soothing
to
and
do
whatnot.
cartoons.
You said what?
I really want to do cartoons. How you doing?
That would be dope.
Good.
Did you want to add a tip to your card?
Yeah, I added tip. I'm up
How
here.
much?
Just add $3. All right, cool. Thank you.
She getting orders delivered to her.
But we outside. Oh, Layla just said something about that. I have a series. We outside. That's my newest project, for real.
Oh yeah. What's that about?
Just my day-to-day summary of my life, and just people I'm around at my atmosphere in a creative way. It's like just another way for me to just put out content too.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you do your radio shows, what type of vibe do you like to bring? Is it more of an organic where you're just talking? Do you like to bring guests on?
This me, cause I only just talk for like 8 minutes tops, and then it's mostly just music, you know. So like, I really don't have guests on my radio show, but I have guests on my separate podcast show, cause that's mostly just me talking for the whole time, and then like maybe like 2 songs in between. But like, yeah, Plums Radio. I mean, maybe I will turn it into like with guests, but I think I could do it in a different way. So it's not the typical me just on the camera and then my guests here with me. I like to do things a little bit different than everyone else. So like for me to add guests, I'll probably just have interview people on like a type of my show or something. You know what I mean? Like on a series or something.
Right.
Yeah.
I also wanted to comment on the visual of it with you and your mic and your headphones and then your hat. It's super cool. It puts you in a chill mindset or whatever. I like that. That's really cool.
I try to record without a hat. I just can't do it. Like
I love that. No, don't take it away.
Okay, cool. All right, cool. I'm gonna keep the hat.
So cool. And then you can like have the hat of the day or something like that. Like throw that junk on. Shoot, I'm working on getting some Bliss Talk merchandise. So if once I get some hats, I'm gonna send you one over there.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yo, send hats. I love hats. Just send me a
Yeah.
comfortable dad hat. I'll throw that joint right on.
There we go. There we go. Supporting each other. Let's do it like that. I got 2 more questions for you. This is like a 30-minute something I like to give to the people while they're sitting in quarantine, and we can talk about building, learning, inspiring, collaborating, and sharing keys with each other. The next question is, what is something, tell me about a time or the most recent time where you sat down and you spoke to someone and you ended up learning something from them.
Every day, honestly.
Yeah.
So I was talking to one of my friends today, and he told me that one of his friends told him not to do music anymore. And I was like, and I told him, I was just like, honestly, you got to listen to yourself, because your friends are on the outside of you. You only can hear your voice. You only can hear what's inside your heart. And I feel like you should listen to someone that's not inside of you. You know what I mean? Like, even if they don't see what you feel, it's okay. Like, just, and it kind of pushed me in a way to where as though like I gotta keep going with my vision too, because I don't let nobody try to like steer me off of what I want to do. And I feel like if that's your passion, that's a part of you, and you shouldn't stop because someone else tell you to stop. That's all. So I kind of like learned just to stay active, because there's people that told me not to do what I'm doing too. Like, don't do film. Like, your film's mediocre. What you're doing is mediocre. But it's like, no one's gonna start off a beast at stuff. No one's gonna start off a master at something. You know what I mean? You gotta learn through repetition. So I use repetition to my advantage, and I just got better and better just by just keep doing stuff, you know?
That's been a common thread with every time I have a conversation with Bliss Talk. We talk about preparation. You know, some of the best artists or your superheroes, your idols, they had to spend a lot of time practicing and preparing. I like to tell people all the time, I like to think that I've gotten better over the years, but when I first started doing my singing and songwriting, I sucked. When I got on that stage, it wasn't very good. You
gotta practice.
You gotta practice. And also, I like what you said about not letting somebody influence what you want to do, because at the end of the day, no one has had the exact same experiences that you have. So when they're a bystander looking in onto your situation, there's no possible way that they could know the exact circumstances, because they weren't there. Does that make sense? They weren't there. Like, I'd like to compare that to maybe like a relationship that you're in. Outsiders might think a certain way, but you didn't spend every single day with this person. You know, it's not black and white the way that you would like to think it is. It's not, you know.
It's really not.
Yeah. But that's,
and it's like, it's also like this, like, I kind of forgot what I was going to say, but it's also like, I feel like people you are born for a reason, right? And people gravitate you for you. So it's like, for someone to steer you away from what you're trying to do, that's all the connections that you're losing out on, because you're listening to this person. Everyone is really unique. So what gravitates towards me, I probably will miss out if I don't follow what I have to do. Not, you know? So that's just how I feel about that too.
Absolutely. So let's talk about that for a second while we're on this subject. Tell me about a time where you followed your intuition and where it led you.
Man, every single day. But like a time when I follow my intuition. It's kind of cold out here. But let me think. Shoot, my intuition. Honestly, just to do whatever I want to do, for real. Like, just following my passions and not putting myself in a box. That's like my intuition, because it's like when I started doing Plums Radio, people liked it, and they said that my voice soothed them and it calmed them down and stuff like that. So it's like, if I never did Plums Radio, if I never followed my instinct to just talk a little bit and play some music, people would never know that. So it's like, I say just follow what you want to do. Like, people say life is short, but it's really long. and we go through phases and we just go through changes. Whatever stick to you, just do it, even if it lasts for a moment.
So I have an example, and maybe after you hear my example, then you can feed off of that, and maybe you might think of something. But for me, one time where I had to follow my intuition was leaving my parents' house, when I was younger. Um, you don't want to, it's a scary thing when you have to be on your own, you know what I mean? But my intuition was telling me that I could not stay here. Or my intuition was telling me that, it's time for you to, experience life away from your folks or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But if I would have let my parents or somebody else tell me, no, you're not ready or whatever, then I would have never left. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I would have never walked out on that faith that I can do this. I can be independent. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
so once I followed that intuition, there were some rough times where it was just like, shit got real. It got real. You know what I mean? But that, when in those shit got real times, that was the times where I learned a lot of lessons. I learned a lot about myself. I learned how to be self-sufficient. So what's your perspective?
I feel like we need those growing pains through stuff. So it was necessary. I still can't think of one. I think I kind of like said what I had to say on that.
Okay.
Like when an instant hit me.
You said what?
You said, what was the question again?
When you followed your intuition.
Yeah, I think like all the time, for real. Because I really just listen to inside, and I just go with it. Whatever I feel like, just go with it.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's really good. Let's see. There's my last question for you.
Okay.
Do you have a team behind your brand?
A team? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do.
And tell me what that looks like. What does your team do for you? How do they support you?
So I have a DJ, and he always he pushes me, and he makes sure I'm branding myself correctly. He just gives me that extra boost, And I also have the people that's underneath underneath the podcast that I do stuff with, my boy Nerd and my brother. And yeah, like that's my team. And when it comes to like video production, I got like a couple video people that always help me if I need them to. I'm just like scattered everywhere. Like these people help me with this, these people help me with this, and I mostly promote myself mostly. You know what I mean? Like I feel like if you don't support your brand like hard body, no one around you gonna do it. So it's like if I keep supporting myself, my team will build itself. You know what I mean? So it's just my day ones pretty much.
That's what's up. You need those. You need those people who are willing to support you, because one thing that I know just on my own journey is that I cannot do this by myself. I don't even know why I thought I could. You need other people. You need a network. You need people that you can lean on and rely on to help you get certain things done. Like, for example, this Bliss Talk is executive produced by T. Walker. He's actually booked everyone out that we're going to have on the show every day up until like May something, the middle of May. So
nice.
So
T. Walker's the man.
He is the man. And so what was great about that is instead of me having to focus on who I'm going to get next on the show, I can focus on other stuff, like what do I want to learn from this person? What do I want to say when I talk to them? You know what I mean? And so if I had to focus on all that stuff at once, that's a lot of mental capacity. So being able to delegate and work with someone like-minded has been freaking awesome. It's been really amazing.
It relieves the load off you. I feel like no one does anything alone. And if you do things alone, it's going to take you longer to get there, to get where you're trying to go. And even if you go alone, people are going to latch on to you anyway. So you might as well just fill them out and just add them to the team.
Right. Exactly. Just a recap of our conversation today, we talked about your brand Plum Radio.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about the networks, how you're able to network and gain a following. We also talked about your drive as far as being communications, because that's what you're doing when you're doing Plum Radio is part of the communications field. And you said
Mm-hmm.
this is just something that you just did and you've been consistent with.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also talked about, what you have learned recently from someone. And then we talked about building a team and needing folks to support you, things of that nature. There was one more question that I had for you because it just came in my head. Hold
Okay.
on. It's going to come back to me. So, dang, I forgot the question that quick. Do you have any questions for me, baby?
How long you been doing this?
I've been doing Bliss Talk. Okay, easy question. We started this, I think, last year in March, and we've had altogether, I think we're on our 6th or 7th episode, because I like to do it every other month because I'm a type of person that I don't like to overload myself with stuff because I do stuff outside of Bliss Talk. I'm an organizer. I have a nonprofit that I organize where I raise money for local artists in the community. And so that's some of my time. And then I also have a full-time job as well.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
and I'm a
Hardworking Black woman out here.
Absolutely. I'm always doing something. But yeah. Anything else? Y'all can type some questions in here for us too.
Yeah.
If you want to know more. So Delaware, how is Delaware? Do you think that's a place like where a musician or an artist can thrive in? How's the art scene out there?
The art scene is pretty good, but I feel like the resources are very limited. Like artists, it's hard for artists to get into like great venues. But it's on the rise though. I mean, I love Delaware. I feel like I probably would strive more if I go somewhere else, but it's just like I love Delaware. It's calm, but it's like I don't know. I'm just here for right now, I can't
Where do
really
you
live
see
for.
yourself? That was the question. Yes, now we back
Where do I
on
see
track.
myself?
Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you want Plum Radio to be? Where do you want Jamisa to be? And how old are you, by the way?
Jamisa.
Jamisa, I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, you good. I just like I am 30.
Me too.
Yeah, yep.
And you got dimples too.
Yep, dimple game. But where I want Plums Radio to be. I just wanted to have a nice platform for artists, you know what I mean? I want artists to be like, yo, I was played on Plums Radio and this got me here, you know what I mean? And I also wanted to connect me with somebody to put me on a cartoon. I want to do voiceovers. I want my voice to be out there, but also I want very unorthodox thoughts out there. I feel like regular radio is really whack right now. Like they play the same music. They don't hit every spectrum of music, like every emotion, like all the good stuff is still not played on the radio.
Do you play local artist tunes?
Yeah, I play local. I play Delaware artists. I play whoever I come across. If it's hot, I'm gonna throw it on there. If it fits the vibe, cause kind of like gather song, and it kind of like flows perfectly. So I play a lot of people. Yeah, I kind of like. I mean, whatever it takes me. I don't really have no. I really don't think that far ahead all the time. But I just wanted to be great. You know what I mean? That's all.
Absolutely. Well, give them your socials right now. We're going to wrap up the Bliss Talk. Yo, this has been awesome. And I hope that, once I get these hats, I'm going to send one to you because I know you look fly in a hat.
Thank you. You making me want to throw on one. I have my little bun out here. But
when you came on the live, I was expecting the hat too, and then I was like, "Oh, look at her little bun."
Yeah, I didn't want to throw the hat on because it's all low. I would have been out here shaded, so I was just like, I'm gonna just throw the regular. But y'all can follow me at Jamisa, JAMISAAA. Same thing as my Twitter. It's Mies TV, ITZ Mies TV. I got a business page, Peace Living Films. I don't have much on it because I'm on the process of rebranding it. But yeah, that's it really. And Church for the Wild podcast in your podcast app or SoundCloud, Church for the Wild, and that's everything right there.
Thank you for joining me today, and let me give my information out to the
give it out
that came in today. You can follow me at cbliss_pics on Instagram. You can actually find this episode probably by the end of this week on my website, blisstalkshow.life.
Oh, I'm gonna be on the website. I got the pizza and everything.
Yeah, girl, you gonna be on the website.
Yo, that's hilarious. My mom coming to the door and everything.
You big timing. You a star.
Trying, man.
Thank you so much, and I hope to hear from you soon and maybe build soon.
For sure. Stay in touch. And have a good night.
You too.
Adios.